Hello and welcome to this video. My name is Wiebke Oehlschläger, and in this video, I'd like to give you an overview of the Quentn Sales CRM. If you're not quite sure yet what the Sales CRM is or what you might just need it for, I'd like to briefly explain it in simple terms. Just a bit more about it. If you work in sales, you know that having a clear overview is everything. You don't want to lose any contacts, forget any conversations, or miss any opportunities. And that's exactly where a sales CRM like Quentn's comes in to help. It shows you at a glance where your prospects currently stand, what needs to be done next, and how to guide them step by step to closing the deal. These individual stages in the sales process are what we call stages. And to make sure you know exactly what to do and when, there are the sales pipelines. They show you exactly which phase each deal is currently in and what the next steps are. What makes Quentn special? Our sales CRM is directly connected to email marketing. And that means as soon as a lead enters or leaves a stage, you can automatically trigger appropriate actions, like a follow-up email, a task reminder, or an internal notification. This effortlessly turns your sales process into an automated flow that leaves nothing to chance. In this video, I'll show you how to set up your pipeline step by step, what to watch out for, and how to cleverly link sales CRM and marketing automation. So, let's finally get started. To easily and efficiently establish a pipeline, click on Sales Pipelines in the menu, and then on Add Pipeline. Give your pipeline a title and specify which users will have appropriate access, such as, of course, this requires that you've already created multiple users. Simply save your sales pipeline and then open it. To do this, you can either click on the name or on View. Initially, at first, you'll see a somewhat empty interface. Click on Add Stage and give your first stage a name. As you can see, they are automatically numbered. If you don't give it a name, it will keep its number. Since that's not very clear, I strongly recommend assigning a title. So in my case, the first stage is called Initial Contact, the second is Interest, the third is Call Completed, and the fourth is Offer Sent. You can edit the titles of your stages at any time by clicking on the title. This way, just like I'm doing now, you can correct spelling mistakes or rename stages. Next to all the stage titles, you'll see a small 3-dot menu. Simply click on it, and then you can easily add various opportunities. Filter your different stages by, for example, a specific target date or when a particular opportunity was created, such as, and so on and so forth. And you can highlight the stages with different colors. If you're a visual type and like to work that way, you can assign different colors to the stages here. Initial contact, when there's some interest, it gets a bit lighter. Phone call made, something has already happened here. So, and once I've definitely sent my offer, we're already on a very good path. At the end of the stage, you'll see these icons here. These show you how many opportunities are currently in a stage. At the moment, it's currently 0, and how many automations are linked to that stage. We'll come back to that later. So now we've set up our stages, but as we can see, there are no opportunities yet. We're going to change that now. Maybe a very brief explanation of what an opportunity is. An opportunity in a CRM is indeed a sales chance. In other words, a possibility to turn a potential customer into an actual buyer. It indicates that someone is potentially interested in a product or service and helps track this potential sale step by step, from the first contact to the final deal. An opportunity gathers all the important information: who the customer is, how much the deal might be worth, when it is expected to close, and how far the negotiations have progressed. You can essentially think of it as a kind of to-do list for a sale, organized into clear phases, from qualification to proposal creation to negotiation. The goal is to keep track of all ongoing deals, set priorities, and manage sales processes effectively. An opportunity makes it significantly more straightforward for sales teams to plan potential revenue and work purposefully toward turning a chance into a successful deal. So, to simply add an opportunity to a stage, click on the desired stage. For example, here on Add Opportunity. Here you now have two options. You can simply either select an existing contact as an opportunity from your existing contacts, or alternatively, you can create a new opportunity. We'll simply start by creating a new opportunity. So we simply click on Create New and enter a first name, last name, Quentn, Content Manager, and my primary email address carefully. Confirm the necessary details just this once. And now we click on Next. Now we move on to the opportunity details, such as the relevant information and additional details, before proceeding further to the next step in the process. Here, you can give the opportunity an appropriate title if you like, and you can set a due date as well as the value of the deal, and optionally, even mark the opportunity as a favorite, optionally. To do, click on the star here. However, all of these fields are optional. Click on Save. If we want to base it on a known opportunity, we click on Add Opportunity again, select an existing contact, and here, don't worry, these are all demo contacts. That means the email addresses are not real, so essentially I can show them here without any concern. So, we select a contact. Now we just go straight to the details here, so we could simply enter a title, target date or value, or click on Favorite. Let's just go ahead and do that. Enter a value here as well, like this, and click on Save. Now we can see right over what we've entered here. So this contact is marked as a favorite, which is why it moves to the top. We've just entered a value and so on. You can easily edit your opportunities at any time by either clicking on the three-dot menu and selecting Edit Opportunity, or by simply double-clicking on the contact to open it. A window with several tabs will now appear. In the first tab, you'll see all the important information, everything related to the opportunity, such as the title, date, value, and the owner. This is again relevant if you've set up multiple users. You could assign opportunities to different users. Since I only have myself as the admin in my account, all opportunities automatically belong to me, of course. You'll also see all available contact details, and if you like, you can simply add notes here. If you want to edit the contact details, just click on Edit here and enter additional information. Here, for example, you could add an address, a phone number, tags, whatever you need. A quick note about the Notes section. These are really important so that you can keep track of everything even at a later point. Write your note in the designated input field here and then click on the button labeled Add so that it gets saved successfully. You'll find the complete history of all your notes right here on this page. Speaking of history, in this tab you'll find all the important information and the entire history of the opportunity. Now, not much has happened here yet, but in general, you can see when the opportunity received, opened, and clicked on emails, when it was assigned or had tags removed, and when it entered or exited a particular stage. If you have web tracking enabled, you'll find all the related data here, though I don't have it enabled right now. And under the Pipelines tab, you can see which pipeline and which stage the opportunity is currently in right now. So if you have multiple pipelines and an opportunity is present in more than one, it would be listed here. Here we can clearly see that this opportunity is in the initial contact stage. Now, I've just already mentioned the target date several times. If you're wondering what I mean by that, let me briefly explain it again. Opportunities can be assigned a date in order to ensure that you and your users can easily know when the next action is due. You can either set this date manually or assign it automatically. For example, if the date is transferred to Quentn via a third-party provider. For that intended purpose, you need a corresponding contact field of the type Date. If you want to manually add a date afterward, just simply click right over here, enter in both the date, and optionally also include your time details as well. Then go ahead and finally click on Apply. Now we can see everything clearly laid out over here once again. We could definitely even have this easily added to our Google Calendar so that we get an important and timely reminder notification for this follow-up. Now, maybe we don't want to create our opportunities one by one in the stages forever. Perhaps, after all. Of course, there are several ways to move multiple opportunities into a stage at once. In fact, to do this, simply go to your contact overview and easily filter for the desired contacts. Here you have the contact filter. And now we could, for example, use a tag to find the contacts we want to push into our pipeline. So now I've carefully filtered a few contacts here, carefully selected all of these contacts, and clicked on Apply Sales Stage. Since I currently only have one sales pipeline, it is displayed here directly, and I can move all of these contacts into the initial contact stage. If I have multiple users and want to assign this opportunity to users as well, I could now determine whether these opportunities should be assigned to a specific user, or whether they should, for example, be distributed evenly, or whether only the owner of the contact should receive the opportunity. If we click Continue and confirm that we're absolutely sure, we have now successfully moved these contacts into our sales pipeline. Oh, look here, everyone is there. The second way to automatically move opportunities into such a stage works through campaigns. I've already prepared something here. A contact fills out a form, completes the double opt-in, and then immediately enters our first stage, namely initial contact. We automatically send them additional, more detailed information and ask them to schedule a phone appointment. As soon as this contact has just done that, in this case via Calendly, they automatically enter our interest stage. You can see up to this point you haven't had to do anything yourself. Everything runs automatically. Thanks to Calendly, you know that a phone appointment is scheduled, and as soon as you've spoken with this person, I'll show it here in parallel. Let's say you spoke with Dana Huber-Young. Then you manually move her to the next stage by clicking on the opportunity and simply dragging it over here. A few more details. Make sure that you're always within the colored frame in this case, so that the opportunity actually lands in the correct stage. You can see that we've connected an automation here. If we want it to run, we simply just do nothing. If we want to prevent it, then we very quickly click the X right here. So as soon as this opportunity enters the phone call completed stage, additional information is automatically and seamlessly sent out. Since I've actually built a campaign in the meantime that includes an automation which also impacts this sales pipeline, the numbers here have adjusted a bit, right? You can see that we have a 1 next to the lightning bolt here. That means an automation is indeed linked to this stage. And when we hover over it with the mouse, we can see that it takes place in the campaign called Demo. But what if you have an opportunity that is potentially, possibly lost? They clearly said, I'm not interested in your offer, so we don't need to list them here anymore. Let's say Maren just called and made it abundantly clear to us that she's not interested. If we now keep this opportunity right here like this, we'll just see that 4 colored boxes simply start to appear down here, and if we move in that direction, it opens up, and we can mark the contact as won or lost. We could perhaps move it to another pipeline or delete it entirely. I'll now officially mark Maren as lost, and now at this point I can specify a reason why we lost this opportunity. Either I do it without a reason or I refer to already existing reasons as a result. For that, I must have created some beforehand. Or I click on New, and now I say that the reason for the loss is, no money, and then I click on Apply. If Sandra Schmidt also has no money, then I simply just go to Lost again, select Already Existing, and choose that same reason. However, it can also sometimes happen that you've prematurely marked an opportunity as either won or lost. To quickly and simply return it to the pipeline, proceed as follows. Click on your pipeline overview page, so again on this menu option, and then on Manage Actions, as well as opportunities in the pipeline. Here, all opportunities are now displayed to us, showing which stage they are in or what status they have. And now we can see that these 2 are marked as lost. If you have a very large number of opportunities and can't see them at first glance, you can also filter your opportunities here to reach your goal more quickly. Now, at this moment, I want to bring Sandra back, so I click on the Edit Pencil icon right here, and then I proceed to click on the option labeled as Back to Pipeline. She is now indeed currently pushed back into my pipeline, exactly in the stage where she was previously. There she is again. Now we're almost literally at the end of the video. There's one thing I don't want to hide. Up here, you have the option to specifically search for opportunities by entering a name, for example. You can completely filter your sales pipelines. For example, if you have multiple users, they would be listed here, and then you could look at each one individually. You can choose to display only overdue opportunities or those that are coming up soon, for example. That would be this one contact here, or all those that don't have a date at all. In my case, that's the majority. Additionally, you can of course use your sales pipelines in dark mode as well. To be able to evaluate your success, you naturally need to be able to view statistics too. You can find these in the overview here. So you can see which stage is particularly productive or has the highest performance, during which time period most deals were closed or lost, which employees have the best conversion rates, how many deals were won or lost overall, the top reasons for losses, and so on. It doesn't make much sense to show you my evaluation since not much has happened here. It should look a bit different for you. In all statistics, you can also apply a few filters to get the most precise answers possible to your success-related questions. I hope I was able to give you a brief overview of our sales CRM. If any questions come up, don't hesitate to contact our support team. You can reach us Monday to Friday during our business hours at support@Quentn.com. Please, I wish you great success and see you in the next video.